we're getting in breaking inputs at the moment. In fact, intel agency sources have revealed to CNN News18 that both the accused Mussavir, Hussain, Shazib and Adbul, Matheen, Ahmed, Taahaa are experts in making IED bombs. Now, during investigations, it's been revealed that they were both using multiple fake accounts and even money was coming to them through cryptocurrency. Now remember, this is also one challenge for the NIA at the moment. It will also be looking to crack how that entire money trail was formed as far as cryptocurrency is concerned. What were those crypto wallets also? That is something that they'll be probing into. Let's quickly go across to Anand. Anand, the initial information that's now pouring in fact, highlights how highly educated youth like engineering graduates are in fact coming onto the radar of the ISIS, and in this case particularly because no wonder they were into making these IEDs.
Yes, they were. They were carrying the task was to carry highly sophisticated stacks. They were going to use tech, but the users or educated individuals, engineers, graduates, etc., becoming part or getting radicalized and fundamentalists and joining this terror outfit or embracing this ISIS ideology is not a new phenomenon. This is what was seen even earlier when there were reports of Indian citizens who were trying to make their way en route to Syria via various routes, be it by Turkey, by Yemen and other places. That's not as much of a surprise. Yes, it's a worry, but the larger aspect is that there were handlers. These were people who were regularly, and there was money that's being transferred to them in a few lakhs, if not more, and on a regular basis for them to carry out activities, and this was being sent via cryptocurrency. The other aspect that stands out is that those who were handlers or recruiters here who were training others got into the actual aspect of putting things to action, and they went and ended up being doers because of a lot of modules being busted. The other thing is that ever since about 2018, 2019 onwards, these people have been planning their activities. They were recruiting, radicalizing, and actively trying to move to different places. This Padga area is where all of these people would collude or converge. And from there, they would disperse to different parts of the country. But they were all connected and they were using very highly encrypted platforms also. They were also using the dark web to chat, and certain platforms which are not at that time in the radar of the intelligence agencies. So that's another input that we've got. But more importantly, that they got their hands dirty into the act because of the busts and the arrests that happened in the Mangalore module, in Karnataka, in Tamil Nadu, and also the arrest of Sharik and the rest when the Delhi and UPATS combined together. See, central agencies along with the state police and their state anti-terrorism squads have collaborated in this to try and crack down. Now, had these modules not been busted, they were not only trying and testing their things, they were also trying to do events because they also wanted to show to their handlers that there is a certain relevance and importance of this module and they will deliver. Now, that part was something which was critical, and that they continuously, regularly wanted to do some activity and show to their handlers that we are continuously active so that the funding keeps coming. And their handlers were sitting abroad. Now, we're given to understand this is clearly an ISIS handler who may have been in Syria in the past, but now is currently operating out of Afghanistan or Pakistan or in that region, in that area. They're being in touch with various handlers and various other agents, be it the ISI-driven agents, Lashkar agents, etc., and trying to get people from Nepal into Pakistan or from Pakistan into Nepal. That route now has been busted with some terrorists also been arrested from a similar route. So the agencies have stumbled onto multiple layers of these groups who have also worked or leaned on other organizations, their conduits, their routes, their recruits, and to source material and also to figure out way of transporting themselves or traveling between multiple nations. The other thing is they all had different identities. A lot of these individuals were carrying fake identities which were Hindu names. They were non-Muslim names which they had non-Muslim identity cards which they were also using when they were traveling within the cities. They had figured out that if they stay on the outskirts, away from the big cities, some of the smaller towns, smaller lodges, where they were not so keen on the KYC note, so important, they would stay for 2-3 nights and keep moving. And this is how they were found in Digha. They were in Mumbai, but outskirts of Mumbai in the Borivali region, that's Padga. they were in and around Delhi, but on the outskirts of Delhi. They were in Uttar Pradesh, but not in a very big town, but on the outskirts of cities and towns. That's how they were trying to place themselves and trying to move all around the country. And they wanted to do multiple attacks at multiple levels in one region. So this module was all connected with each other, but everywhere you would bust two, three people, and they would all look like lone wolves. But that was not the case.
Sustenance of these terror modules also is another important point for focus, because time and again the pattern remains, and it's been a disturbing pattern. It continues to surface even in this case, which is that of the kind of role that technology is playing now in changing the face of terrorism, something we've also seen as far as funding is concerned. In this case, Anand, we've seen how cryptocurrencies have played a massive role. As in other terror modules also, one has observed at the same time how training is being doled out, on various social media platforms like Telegram as well. Do shed light on what are now the challenges ahead for anti-terror agencies, like whether it is the NIA or even the ATS.
Well, if you look at the NIA or the National Investigative Agency or the anti-terrorism squads of the various state police, they are all coordinating because nobody wants terror attacks on our soil. And especially in the run-up to Lok Sabha 2024, there are elements who want to disrupt the entire social fabric here. They want to create a certain sense of panic and fear. They want to give an impression. See, one of the choices we must never forget, why was this Rameshwaram Cafe identified? This is a very Indian Mujahideen module. This is not an ISIS module. ISIS would want to target religious areas, religious institutions, religious establishments, or certain individuals. In this case, a civil social area was targeted. This is a I am Indian Mujahideen kind of a module where they want to strike fear amidst the corporates. Because those who would have been hurt are people of software companies. These are international tech giants, and there would have been ripples, and there would have been other aspects, and certain go-slow would have happened in terms of investment, in terms of moving on. So it would also have in an indirect way hurt the economy, hurt the entire sentiment that India is booming, India is safe, and we should come into this country with a growth story, with an alternative to other nations, and with a lot of geopolitics happening. The other thing is to try and stoke social strife. And to try and harm the social fabric. So there are multiple challenges. These busts happened even in 2019. Let's remember, ahead of 2019 elections also, there were huge modules that were busted across the country, including large successes in Uttar Pradesh. This also is a similar pattern that happened ahead of the 2019 elections. Is a similar pattern, but these modules have been trying to recruit, radicalize, and also train. And they were also practicing. They are practicing in remote areas near river banks where places are isolated. They were trying to put to test certain ideas of how can they best do this. And if it was being effective, then they were trying to do something.
Right.
So far, success for the central agencies. But with terrorists, that's the case. They may try 100 times. They need to get it right only once. As far as the investigative officials are concerned, agencies are concerned, they've got to get it right every time because they cannot afford to slip up.
All right.